So as we know that, let's talk, I think, the major thing first of all, obviously, that is the Trump's administration. I think the president of US has given a major shock this week to all industry, not just tech, but obviously we mostly talk about how it is going to affect in the tech because we talk about technology here, but ultimately it is going to not just affect us consumers but lot of companies, lot of jobs, lot of things. Market has gone down in trillions of dollars, which is insane. Just how an economic change happened in just span of a week, and it is going to affect especially for next this month and next couple of months because companies, and it is going to be a lot of rush. And let's start with the basics. So if you are unaware of anything, so in uh, you are unaware of tariffs, let's talk about that. What are tariffs? So tariffs is kind of an import, like a tax on imported products that is imported from other country. But tariffs can be on a lot of things. It's just a name that, or kind of a solution, you know, that is kind of a method. So tariff is kind of a tax, you can say, that is being given to the imported goods that are imported from other countries to your countries. So for example, let's say in India here, let's say a company from US, or let's say iPhone, or from China is selling their phones in India. So the phones that are being manufactured on basically in China, let's say, and been sell imported in India and sell here, they will get a specific certain amount of tariffs. It can be 10%, 12%. It's just like it can be anything depending upon what country is applying. The reason the tariffs exist, the reason the tariff exists is to support mostly local businesses in your own country. So let's say if in India here, where that we live, that I live here right now, is like has tariffs from China, US, or any other country, uh, what they do is give tariffs to the specific countries. So basically, it is tax on those goods that are important into here, and then those goods are definitely higher price. Let's say a 10,000 rupee product, depending upon the tariffs, can get into 12,000 because of just imports. So from 10 to 12, like there are a lot of taxation issues. So let's say, so that's why a lot of people say that product is made like iPhone. If iPhone is made it like in 400 or $500 or even $600, the reason why they sell at such a higher price is just because there are a lot of taxation also is included there. It is not the only one, but also the taxation is also included. So it is much more of an tax thing. Okay, see tariff as a tax to save your own local businesses in your own country or your own country origin business. So the solution to it, what major countries give to the companies, or especially big companies like iPhones, or even Chinese mobile companies that are manufactured in India, what they give solution to is manufacture your product in our countries. So let's say if China imports Xiaomi, let's say Redmi from their country, what India will say here is, let's say, give your manufacture or take your manufacture to from China to India, and you will get tax benefits, and you will not even get tariffs on those products because you are making that own product in your in-house. And that's why the companies like Redmi, Xiaomi, Oppo, mostly the reason why they can sell this product in here cheaply is because of that. It is manufactured here in India, not from any other country and then getting imported. Mostly that's why, most of the reason that is why also the iPhones in India are so much higher price than what is it in sell in US, because India has imported tariffs, you can say, or tax on Chinese good imported in India to support local businesses. So that's why India is trying with iPhone, that is Apple, to launch their own manufacturer in India here too. And it has been successful too. Mostly, I think iPhone 13 is being assembled in India. So that's why it is cheaper here too. So what happens? So that's why in India there is iPhones are higher price in compared to what in other countries, or compared to what in even USA, because taxation and tariffs between US and China are so less that it is compared to India, the prices there of iPhones are less. So this is how what it actually is, it is taxation to support. So ultimately tariffs, ultimate motive is to get so local support to our local businesses, and to get much more jobs, and to get your people more advantage over mostly anything than other companies coming to your own country. That is whole the concept of tariff is. Now what is happening right now is, what has Trump done is, has done a kind of a, you can say, the you are, I think you are also hearing the word reciprocal tariff. So basically what is Trump doing is, whatever tariff other countries apply on US import goods in their own country, now Trump is also applying those tariffs to those specific countries too. So there is a whole chart of it. There is a whole technical issue that we are gonna not gonna talk about here right now. But basically, what has happened is, Trump, not, I will say, not saying what kind of economic condition of any other country, and just has affected. So what is it like? It's kind of a threat to those countries ultimately, to give a 0% kind of a tariffs, so that if you give a US a 0% tariff on imported goods, then US will also give a 0% tariff to you. So it is kind of a threat. It is like lot of economical political stuff is going on, and global war threat that is people are talking about right now. So this is like, on the basic level, this is how I think is ultimately working on. So rather than going on who is, what is the solution towards it, because it's not an easy, it's ultimately a president's decision of United States. And the reason why it is affecting to not just US people, businesses in US, but also all other countries, is because US is the most, like, is the biggest economic country in the world. you know Dollar is one of the most higher price, like, it is, they are way up there. So whatever, like, they are the whole base of the economic, because they have introduced it, the kind of a trade that is going on in the all the world right now. So whatever happens, let's say, in the US, and whatever affects, that is the decisions they take will definitely going to affect not just US and the people in the US, and the people, the products that you use from US. It is going to affect all the major countries and all the small countries all over the world. So don't think that it is just going in US right now, doesn't mean it will affect you eventually. And whatever field you are, it is going to get affected until and unless they back off, because they are doing whatever, like pause and tariffs getting cut off, like a lot of uncertain things are going on. So there are a lot of confusion and lot of uncertainty. So solution is simple, do not do those kind of things. Like, the solution was simple, that Trump shouldn't have done it, is, like, it is kind of a selfish behavior from that administration, like from US, that what they are doing right now, as even they do know that they are the economic base of what world is, or like one of the major economic base of the whole world. And if that country is being selfish, then it is going to get affected to all major countries, not just US. So the, let's say, the effects and impact that is going on, that is going to happen to all this. Okay, first, the major thing that people are talking right now are the price. Our prices are going to get higher. So how our prices are going to get higher? So mostly what happens is, like, let's say the example of, only let's say a big company, let's just take a big company like Apple. They do all the manufacturing, not just anything, but all the manufacturing of their iPhones in China, because China has one of the most biggest infrastructure what they can provide to Apple, and it's a good trade to have there. And there is cheap, it is simple than compared to what it is in America. Like doing in-house manufacturing is, America is way high price than doing it in China. It's like a business decision that you can say that Apple has taken to manufacture mostly in China. There is also reason that's why most of the Indian engineers are being recruited by these high Silicon Valley tech companies, because from the India, because they can hire mostly engineers from here with, you can say, cheaper. Like that's why they also have most of the companies, most of the bigger companies all around the world are also based in India, so that they can do a cheap, because we are economically way less than US right now. That's why even in China, even in India here, even though we are a big country compared to what it is in US, it is simpler to do businesses in these countries like in India, and in terms of uh, people and getting recruit. So this is basically, that's why Apple has manufacturing in China. Now that Trump has imported, till to this time I am recording, is 125% of tariff on China. So every iPhone that is like the imported stuff from the China will get 125% tariff. So just imagine that is distributed towards all Apple product lineup, not just, that is how it is going to affect. So now let's say you are getting the iPhone Pro series, like say, and 999 or 1199, it will obviously 200 $300 more. It is no doubt in that, just because of that tariff, nothing else. So it is just an example of a big company now that I'm talking about. But let's talk about the small companies, small businesses, especially in the tech. you know let's say I'm making, let's say, a watch here in India and selling here in India. As a small businessman, I know that manufacturing can be hard. China produces lot of electronic goods that, compared to India, I can't even think of getting those manufacturing done on in-house in India is not enough. That's why most of the companies in India, even bigger companies do it, but I will say small companies too. Lot of imported stuff are getting from China too, because of not just cheap, but the infrastructure that China has built over it is good. And when I just import those, even though there is assembly in India, but the product that the imported stuff I am getting from China, there will be tax on those stuff too. So I will have to pay those taxes. Now, just imagine that is what is happening on in US. The what that is what will happen in right now with US small businesses. And I'm not just talking about these big tech companies. Like smaller industrial companies are also going to get affected. Like getting even small stuff, like, let's say plastic, let's say fundamental basic stuff that we can get from a country like China, country like India, where they have, on India there is 26% of tariffs that has been implemented, with 10% of base tariff. So you can add 26 plus 10. So it is kind of an hard for smaller businesses, let's say, even if to get a screwdriver, a screw, even a screw, that can be so much high amount of price they have to pay right now. you know and one of the most And that is what getting these businesses so much confusion, and so much like they are in a so much uncertain state that they don't even know their business will survive in next couple of months, because the shipments that are coming are will also get tariffed right now. So a lot of shipments there that are coming right now in US, where the small businesses are going on, it will get so much affected, because people don't have that money to just pay for the taxes. Okay, because let's even imagine that Apple, my big companies, survive this, not just survive, but they have that kind of a money to survive this kind of stuff. But what majorly that is going to get affected, that consumers in especially in US are going to get lot of affected because of this. The small businesses in US are going to get lot of affected for a bit. you know I can just imagine people who do PC building, people who do manufacture sorry assembly in US, but import lot of stuff from other parts of the other countries, so from India, from Europe, from Taiwan, lot of stuff. And it is not just about big parts, but I think comparing like even to the small parts, like again I talked about how just wires, copper, like, or even plastic, or even bags, these are going to get much more hard to get right now. So this state, what this has become last couple of days, is going to be a lot of stressful for the small businesses. Like assembly, lot of parts are involved in PC assembly businesses. And when it comes to PC assembly, lot of small stuff are being imported from all over the world. Even though you assemble, even if you make stuff on your own, lot of things are there. Moving parts in a business, there are a lot of things. So now that that how it is affecting the businesses, especially small one, and not and one thing we have not even touched upon is like how it is going to affect other businesses. Like we can go on and on, like how it is going to affect a lot of businesses. So yeah, it is we just we didn't even touch upon it. I'm just giving you this kind of examples. Now lot of you will see a lot of videos, lot of statement by a lot of small companies, is like how they I don't know how they will survive it. They will protest it or not, especially in US, because US businesses are on really tough situation. But it's not just for US right now. Consumers all around the world and companies all around the world that manufacture and get it from US are going to get also affected. So overall, all it's a confused, uncertain, a really horrible state that we are right now. So let's see what happens. Ultimately, it is going to be a big chaos, I think. I personally like, I'm seeing a lot of videos on like lots of social media where small individual businesses, cafes in US are affecting through this, because a lot of small stuff are getting imported from China, which is not just cheap for the businesses to get it from there, but it is only like there is no, like, America is not known for manufacture. Like America, there are not like, there is a reason why China has that kind of level of manufacturing. That is why there is a reason, like there is cheap, it is available there, people are going to import because it's a business, it's a business that people want to get going really good. So a lot of small stuff. I saw a video where a woman who is doing a business of, I think, a bakery, where to get even those bags she wanted, you know the plastic bags that she like puts those all sweets and like sell it. Like she talked about how these plastic bags, I can only get it from specifically China, and because of that, now that so much importance imported tariffs have been applied to China, that she can't get it from there, because it is not just cheap, but it is only can be get there only. I also saw a lot of videos about how there is shipment already been shipped from other countries like China, where small businessmen, or let's say, I saw a woman talking about again how there is shipment that is coming already has been shipped from that country, especially China, and she talked about how she is going to pay those fucking 125% of tariffs that has been imported, like that is getting imported to US right now, and how she is going to pay that because she doesn't have that kind of money, because it's such a sudden change. A lot of businesses, especially on smaller level, are going to get affected. And if people can't, and it's not just that businesses, if businesses want to sell those products again later to the consumers, those products will be get higher price because of how taxation are included in this. And now the consumers won't get those products is because it's so much higher price than before, and nobody can afford that pricing. It's just like a lot of, like, you can say, the how chain reaction goes on and how it affects to the individual level, to the point of us, and it applies to every product that you can get. It is applied to food product, it applied to electronic, it's applied to clothes, everything, cars too. It's a chain of reaction, you can see there. So there are a couple of responses. So Nintendo did a mostly, I think, the second the tariffs were announced, the next day I think Nintendo did their, I will say, they made their statement, where Nintendo Switch 2, which got launched last week, where they gave a statement where the pre-orders are not getting started in US. Every other country will pre-orders will start, but the Switch 2 pre-orders in US has been now been hold, just because the tariffs has been, at that point when it was announced, the tariffs were also being announced, and now they don't know if they, what situation and what kind of pricing they want to give to the US customers, because it is going to get obviously higher. And now I think Switch 2 is already a 60 or $80 price, and which is already an higher price for that product. And now we are ultimately, especially for US consumers, they say the pre-orders will be not started on 9th of April, and whatever they, whenever it will resume, they will let them know. But right until this, till to this point of recording, they have not given the kind of information, especially because it's an uncertain time. They don't, like, even big companies like Nintendo don't know what to do in this time of period. Then there is rumors regarding how iPhones are getting shipped from China to India to at least get mostly less uh, tax, because imports from India will be get 26% tariff, and from China it is 125. So millions of iPhone phones have been shipped from a plane to China to India right now. That we are getting rumors again in that situation too with Apple. Lot of companies have, I think, will be having board meetings this week, I think. Uh, Again, like I'm saying, a lot of uncertainty. So how is this going to get solved? Like, in this chaos, you can see that how this decision was so bad. It's not that I'm talking about just economic crash, but how uncertain this administration is. It's just so careless that this Trump administration is, that first they, like, it's just like they're playing kind of a proxy trade war, like what they are trying to do. Like, when US announced so much tariff from China, then China announced bounce back to US again with more tariffs, and then US is backfiring again with more tariffs. It's like a child play at this level of global level, where people get affected because of this. So right now the tariffs have been paused, or we don't even know it, like, so, like, the decisions are getting just like changed in like couple of hours or couple of days. They are not even certain what they want to do. So, like, if you are a business entrepreneur, or even let's say a basic like a consumer that is watching this video on your own, just I will let you know that lot of products are going to get high price, lot of uncertain things, lot of economic changes are going to happen because of this stuff. Until and unless they back off it from it and give a good, I will say, a good position for a lot of companies, because and not just talking about big companies, not just like I have not just talking about big companies like Microsoft, Apple, Meta to give them specific trade-off. No, it is not going to help just giving these specific companies a tax exemption, like not including in terms of tariffs. We like that is just like a horrible decision if they take it, but no. But what we need is first of all removal, I think, for this tariff. It's my ultimately own opinion, okay? Like lot of things, like the decision is so overwhelmingly like bad response of it from the people, and I think general public will not get it until and unless they will hit them with the prices getting higher, especially for the products like simple products that you get on daily basis. So let's see what happens. uh, Mostly I will be covering this whole tariff situation from this episode that we have started with the tariff till until it gets resolved. I will don't think it will get resolved, but I will be covering a lot of small companies, lot of big companies also, in terms of how they are dealing with the tariffs for from this onwards and for next 1 month, 1 or 2 months, where I will be talking and giving and telling you the stories of a lot of businesses, especially in the tech world, about how they are dealing with the tariff, how it will be affecting them, and yeah. So if you want to follow this, do give a like and subscribe, because we are not just stopping here with, especially with the tariffs and how, like with this one episode we are going to cover it up for like next couple of months, is like how it is going to affect the businesses and us as a consumer. And we need to know about this rather than not taking it seriously. At least knowing and having that kind of a knowledge is good to have, rather than just ignoring it, because when the prices get higher there is no backing off because of that, you know. So I will be covering a lot of companies in future stories in next couple of episodes about how the tariffs affected them, a lot of how the money of small businesses, especially in the tech, are going to get affected, but also covering up a lot of what other big companies will be doing, like Apple, Microsoft, Google, even Tesla, like what they are going to do. Like I don't know, Trump is closer to Elon. I don't know. I think Elon would be like I don't even know if he knew this decision was going to happen, but let's see what happens. So this is for now we will stop here for the tariffs, because we are going to cover it in multiple times in the next couple of episodes. So let's talk about a small thing that I'm trying this week, that I tried this week, and we will go into and break then. So